Hi, and welcome to Hardwood Inspirations, Metalworking, Woodworking, and Travel. Today's project is a DIY generator shed that we built for our shop area so that we can run our 9,000 watt generator when needed. I hope you enjoy the video. Please give me a thumbs up if you do, and please subscribe to the channel. Have a great and blessed day. And here I am cutting some 2x4s to make the frame for the generator shed. So the first part I made was for the back. So I will put this up. So here I'm assembling the frame for the back of it. Notice I have pressure treated wood on the bottom. I will be using 3-inch construction screws to put the framing together, and these are all weatherproof screws. Here I'm using some AC plywood 3/4 inch that I'm going to cut to put on the back framing when done, and I'll also do the same on all the side frames. I'm doing this generator shed in parts for a couple reasons. One, it makes it a little easier to assemble, and then secondly, it just makes it easier to handle instead of trying to build it directly in place. So here I am cutting the boards, the 2x4s for the two side pieces, and then I will be assembling them the same way with pressure treated wood on the bottom and using 3-inch screws to connect the studs. And here I'm cutting the studs for the second side that I'm going to be building. Here we have the initial frame layout kind of set up temporarily. I'm now going to measure for the angle for the roof portion, so I can put that in place, and then I will go ahead and make that, and that's what I'm doing right here. And notice the angle is about 15 degrees, so that any water, once we put a roofing material on it, on the lid, will run off easily. And here we have the wing portion, and I'm screwing that down to the bottom base on the side. I will do that on both sides. And then I will cut plywood for the sides and match it all up. And then the final touch will be when I put some finished 1x6s on the top all the way around. Also on the back top portion, it is angled to match this angle so that we can easily put and attach hinges. So after putting the sides on and the panels all together, I am now going to paint it the same color as my shop, which is a gray, light gray color. I'm going to also paint the back the same way to weatherproof all the plywood and the wood. I'm now going to paint the 1x4s that I'm going to use for the trim for the entire project. This is a what they call peppercorn color. It's a dark gray. Here I'm cutting the trim and I'm going to apply it to the sides and also on the back as needed. I then proceeded to cut out an area for an exhaust fan and then also for a couple louver vents for intake air so that we'd have good ventilation within the cabinet. And here I am installing the fan. After the installation of the fan, I did some trim work on the tops of the sides and the back, and I have them all temporarily screwed together at this point. Okay, I already have the concrete slab here that's done. I want to keep this enough to the left of this outlet, so when I put the other portion on, the outlet's still open where I can get to it. And I want to space it away from the building too, an even amount. So I'm measuring out, I'm going to make it 9 inches from the building. On both sides. Make sure we're even. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Okay. So that's 9 inches right there. I'm going to drill and put a couple Tapcon. Here I'm drilling the first hole into the concrete. I'm going to use some Tapcon concrete anchors to secure them firmly down to the concrete. I am going to put a temporary screw in this and then square this all up. So now that I have the sides all squared up with a temporary screw, I'm going to put permanent screws into it and make sure everything measures up correctly. Okay, so I have a little bigger generator. So the lid right now is going to be 56 and a half. That'll give me a 2-inch overlap on each side by 52, and that'll give me 3 inches on the back where I can hook the hinge on, and then still have like 3 inches in the front. So 48 by 48 would have been great, but since my generator is bigger, in order for it to fit into this shed, it had to be a little bit larger. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. I will make the top using pocket holes also as the joinery. I'm going to use 1/2 inch OSB for the base sheet, and since it's bigger than 48 by 48, I'm going to have to use a couple pieces and splice it together. I'll make sure that splice is a little bit more towards the center. I am then going to cover this with tar paper and asphalt shingles. So I've set the lid down on top of the shed without the doors, and am putting the hinges on at this point and making sure everything measures up correctly. I'm now going to lay some 15-pound felt down on it, make sure it's overlapped, and then I'm going to start putting asphalt shingles on it so it matches the shop roof. Before I put the shingles down, I wanted to make sure I flashed all the edges on this roof, and so that's what I'm doing right here. I used 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch flashing. The other thing I did is on each side I put a vapor barrier foil sealant. It's a wrap, special wrap that you can put and goes right on top of the flashing on the edges to prevent any kind of water seepage on the side. And I had to get the wife to come help with some of this because the wind was blowing pretty good. So once we figured and got the first course, of course you put a double course on the first one and got them going, it went pretty quickly and got this roof covered in a very timely manner. The last thing I did is at the top I put some of that foil sealant tape and wrapped it around the edge so it sealed the top of the cabinet itself. I then proceeded to cut 2x4s for the doors. I assembled the doors the same way using 3-inch screws. One of the things I did do is on the outside edge, or the inside edge of the door, I guess it would be, I did cut a 45-degree angle on that so that the doors could swing freely between each other. Here I am setting up my table saw and to cut that 45-degree angle on the inside of each door. I then proceeded to paint these doors the light gray color, and then I will finish them with the peppercorn dark gray trim. I then attached the hinges to the doors, and then on the outside I attached them to the outside of the cabinet. My generator shed all done. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great and blessed day, and look forward to the next video.